Okay, well, I live on the I lived on the very south side of Hereford, in an area called Putson, which is quite close to the river. Probably about 2.5 miles from central Hightown, and this would have been, guessing, 1978. So I would have been about 10, maybe 1977, 9 or 10. And I was playing in the street as you did in those days. One day, and I'd come in for my lunch, I think, and then I'd gone back out after lunch through the front door, walked up my drive in the kind of suburban street, and I was about to go around my friends, looked to the right, and there was a great big cow running towards me. So I immediately freaked out, ran back up the drive to try and go in the front door, but I'd slammed it shut behind me, and I just froze at the front door and watched this cow go trotting up the road. It wasn't really galloping, it was trotting, and it took a very sharp right a few houses up and went up the drive of one of my friends. It disappeared out of sight. It was closely followed by a kind of sort of gypsy looking kind of kid, maybe sort of 18, 19. I remember in quite baggy trousers and a sort of old man shirt with a stick, shouting and bawling, sort of running. I think he had wellies on as well, and he was running after the cow. And then there was like a pickup truck that came around the corner a few minutes later with other people in it. And then I ran around the back and went in the house to tell my mum, and I was utterly shocked. It was a big deal, you know. It was this amazing thing, this cow, highlight of my year probably. And then about 10 minutes later, my sister and my neighbour, who was a couple of years older than me, came screaming into the house, saying that they'd been in their friend's house, Sian, who lives at the end of the street, and they'd been in her back garden playing badminton, and a cow had crashed through the fence right into their badminton game, and of course they'd completely panicked and freaked out and scarpered. I think one went up a tree slightly and the other one ran off down the road, and this cow then doubled back and I think escaped all the people that were looking for it. And then later on we heard that there was more than one cow that escaped, and they'd actually come from the cattle market, and they'd run across the Bishop's Meadows, up the river path, come out by the chip shop in Putson, and then work their way through up Hinton Road, Putson Avenue, and into Orchard Gardens. So quite a journey for the cow, and as I recall, I think they were rounded up eventually and put in a van and taken back to market. And that was the end of it for me. But for us, it was the talk of the neighbourhood for at least a good year. The day the cow came to town, or came to our street, and that's pretty much it.